So an 82-year-old woman and her adult daughter have refused $26 million to purchase half of their 1,200-acre farmland in northern Kentucky to build a data center. Now, some say this is an offer they couldn't refuse, but they did. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the data center creep hitting all parts of the USA, but specifically in this case, Mason County, Kentucky, and the northern part of the state in between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Huntington, West Virginia. A family, meaning an 82-year-old woman and her daughter, were offered $26 million for half of their 1,200-acre farm to build a data center. They said, nope, we're not going to do it because we'd rather feed a nation than to give our land to big tech. They're talking about, oh, it's going to be a bunch of jobs. Okay, sure. They're promised a certain amount of jobs, but how many jobs will come from that? And what would the environmental impact be from the data center? Now, I know y'all love our AI. We love our phones and all this kind of stuff that relies on data centers. But at a certain point, how much is too much? How much is too much? Now, before I go any further, let's get to the clip. And of course, I will link to this clip and everything else in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
And we begin with an extraordinary offer for a piece of land here in the tri-state and an equally extraordinary answer to that offer.
Yeah, a woman and her mother in northern Kentucky, get this, they just turned down a $26 million offer for their property because they don't want to see a data center built there. Local 12's David Witter spent the afternoon with these two ladies and joins us now with their story. David, you got to make sense of this. $26 million, that's a whole lot of money.
It is a lot of money, Kyle. I am in downtown Maysville right now. Up in those hills, just past that crest, is where Ida Huddleston lives with her children. They farm about 1,200 acres here, and last April, an AI company, an unnamed AI company, offered them a lot of money for about half of their land. But they said that they didn't want it. They wanted to keep their cows and not replace them with computers.
Now that right there is a bar. We want to keep our cows and not replace them with computers. Definitely a bar. Put it on a t-shirt, but I digress.
Listening to these cattle, what are they saying to you?
Stay and hold and feed a nation. If it's my way, I'll stay and hold and feed a nation. 26 million doesn't mean anything.
Some people might find it hard to understand how Delcia Bear can turn away a $26 million offer to buy some of her land until you spend a little time with her walking the dirt road she grew up on and in the house her daddy built.
My grandfather and great-grandfather and a whole bunch of family has all lived here for years, paid taxes on it, fed a nation off of it, even raised wheat through the Depression and kept bread lines up in the United States of America when people didn't have anything else.
Delcia is one of dozens of landowners approached by an anonymous buyer, one of the major players in artificial intelligence, likely Google or Meta or Amazon.
That's a red flag. Whenever it's anonymous, it's always a red flag. But let's keep going.
Purchase their land. The market value for land in Mason County is about $6,000 an acre. The realtor that came to her door last April offered her and her mother about 10 times that.
They call us old stupid farmers, but we're not. We know whenever our food is disappearing, our lands are disappearing, and we don't have any water and poison, we know we've had it.
Delcia's mom, Ida Huddleston, is now 82 years old. She says she does not need the money or the hassle. She was born on this land and she plans to die here, and she certainly does not trust the promises made by the AI companies or the people who want them to build here.
So what do you say to the people who are in town that say, hey, this is going to bring jobs, this is going to bring economic prosperity?
I say they're a liar and the truth ain't in them. Is what I say. It's a scam.
For Delcia, scam or not, she says she's connected to her home like Scarlett O'Hara was in Gone with the Wind.
As long as she was attached to that land, her spirit never would die. And that's the exact same thing for me right here. As long as I'm on this land, as long as it's feeding me, as long as it's taking care of me, there's nothing that can destroy me if I've got this land.
Right on. And to be clear, they have 1,200 acres of land out there in Mason County, Kentucky, Maysville, which is, again, right in between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Huntington, West Virginia. Right on, by the way, the Ohio River.
When Delcia and Ida turned down that offer, the AI company merely redrew their plan map with the land that was going to be sold to them. The data center may go ahead and get built anyway, and it'll be right next door to Delcia and Ida.
You know what? And I figured that'd happen. That's kind of like the Walmart strategy. It's like, okay, y'all don't want to give up your land for this Walmart. You don't want a Walmart in your community. Okay, we're going to build it right next door to your neighbors in a neighboring place. The problem with the data centers is that they cause so many problems that it's not really worth it to a lot of people. But some would just say, you know what? That's $26 million. I'm going to take it and run. They don't really care about the lasting effects, unfortunately. But shout out to them for holding strong.
Reporting live from Maysville, this is Dave.
Okay, let's keep on going here. Now, this is out there in Joliet City, Illinois. I believe not far from Chicago. If you know about this area, let me know exactly where it is. But this is what happens when a data center does get approved. What will the environmental impact be? Because that's the main thing. They'll say it'll be a lot of jobs. They'll say it'll be a big economic driver, but that's not necessarily the case. It's just for these companies to have data to be able to serve all their users, the AI, the doom scrolling. That's what it's all about.
After weeks of debate and hours of public testimony, the Joliet City Council officially approving a project for a technology center. Tonight, City Hall was packed with people, some of them happy about the economic impact of this project, others concerned about the effect it will have on their livelihood.
All but one Joliet City Council member voted yes tonight on a 795-acre database center next to the Chicagoland Speedway. The vote comes after Monday's meeting that went more than 6 hours, with dozens of people voicing their concerns about the project that will house 24 buildings at the intersection of Rowell and Bernhard.
My house is going to be less than 300 feet from the data center. I won't be able. You want to buy my house?
Tonight, local union workers packed the council chambers, urging members to bring this project to Joliet.
You're looking at probably 1,200 people working day and night for 5 years, which is huge for us.
Many other Joliet residents have been frustrated with the project, expressing concerns about the environmental impacts of a technology center right near their homes.
I just moved here 3 years ago. I was super excited. You know, a millennial trying to do right, go to school, get a job, get a house. Now I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel like we weren't heard. I feel like there's not enough information. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty scary.
Joliet officials say the project is expected to generate $310 million in property taxes over the next 30 years. In that same time, they expect substantial revenue to come in, about $670 million going to the Joliet Township High School District, $146 million for Will County, and $76 million for Joliet Junior College. As construction planning now officially begins, officials say this will also create 700 permanent on-site jobs, as well as 7,000 to 10,000 locally sourced construction jobs. Many people say they understand that economic impact, but don't believe it's worth the uncertainty that comes with this facility in the long run.
Permanent damage that we may not be able to go back and change. Jobs come and go, but our health and our environment does not come back.
Now, with plans officially in motion, developers say they hope to begin construction in early 2027.
Okay, now they mentioned the economic benefit, the alleged economic benefit. That's what they say, right? Because you can put numbers on the sheet of paper. Will that actually be the case? Who knows? But let's look at the environmental impact. Okay, so check it out. So it will use 150,000 gallons of water every day. And when I say water, I mean drinking water. It cannot use what they call gray water or water that will not be fit for human consumption. It must use fresh, clean, potable drinking water, because the water is going to be used in a way to where it cannot have impurities. It's going to be coming in contact with these very sensitive instruments. And if you got water that has impurities in it, that's going to damage the effectiveness of the instruments. Okay. So 55 million gallons of water per year. And of course, since they're going to be using drinking water, they're going to tap into the local water that the residents use. So like my man said, he's going to be 300 foot from the actual data center. What will his water look like coming out of the actual faucet? We've seen other cases in other parts of the country where people try to turn on the water when they're right next to a data center and they're not getting too much. They're getting brown water. They're getting the pressure is nowhere. It wrecks the environment. So the question is, will it be worth the environmental risk? Now, here's what I would say as I close. If you have people that live next to a data center and they are affected economically, they must be made whole. Your home is right there and you're getting toxic fumes and you're getting bad water. They must buy you out. Give you some money for your house because you can't sell it no other kind of way. Give you money for your house and then give you money to move somewhere else. That's what should happen. And once you factor all of that in, how much will be made from the data center? I can't really tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about the woman, the 82-year-old woman and her adult daughter turning down $26 million to purchase half of their farmland for a data center? Good thing, bad thing? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How about out there, Joliet City, Illinois, where they're talking about we're going to have an 800-acre data center, and the residents are like, hey, I live right here. What am I to do? What will the impact be on my health? How am I going to be able to have any value in my home when it's right next to this big behemoth, this big environmentally damaging thing? What am I to do? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.